Thank you for tuning in to the Empowerment Corner. And today I'm going to talk about boundaries and setting boundaries for ourselves. And why boundaries are important is because sometimes we allow things to come into us and we begin to accept certain things because we have not set boundaries. And boundaries can be very simple. Boundaries can be determining how do you want someone to speak to you. Are you going to accept a disrespectful tone from someone? Are you not going to say, hey, this is how I want to be spoken to? Or are you just going to accept it? Where are your boundaries? I remember I had a contractor that would work for me, and his boundary was that we had to pay him prior to him giving us any type of service. Oh, we had to pay him. I had a market study analyst, and most market study analysts will deliver their market study and then expect to get paid later. But his boundaries were that I will deliver your market study when you pay me first. And we understood that. So we knew if we were going to use him, that we had to pay him first. And because he did good service, we choose to continue to use his service. However, sometimes we don't even set boundaries of how we want to be paid or how we want to be treated. We let someone treat us anyway. We let someone talk to us crazy, and we don't simply say, you don't talk to me like that. I don't appreciate it. That's not how I want to be treated. That's not how I want to be touched. And because we are not setting boundaries, we are allowing everything and anything to come into our space. It can be simply that when I'm driving my car, I play my music. But a lot of times, even something as simple as that, we don't even know how to set that boundary that says, hey, if you're driving with me, you're going to listen to my music and not your music. It can be very simple boundaries, because when we begin to set those simple boundaries, then when it's major, we can set those boundaries. A lot of young women may mess with married men because they haven't set boundaries for themselves. It can be boundaries that say, hey, if you're a married man, I am not driving for 1 hour across town with you. It can be very simple boundaries, but what boundaries do, it keeps you out of trouble, and it keeps other people out of trouble with you. Boundaries also prevents clutter from coming into your life. Your boundaries can be very simple. Your boundaries can be simply like, when you enter my house, you take your shoes off. Some people squirm at the fact that they want to tell someone to take their muddy shoes off and they don't. And then they feel violated. Or the boundaries can be that you don't smoke in front of me. You don't roll a joint in front of me. I remember I had friends in college, they began smoking, and eventually they knew my boundaries were, you don't smoke in front of me. And they began to respect that. So you've got to decide what's your boundary. Otherwise, you'll be tossed back and forth like a wave. And you're not a wave to be tossed back and forth where no one respects or consider you. When you begin to set boundaries, people have to regard you because they know that Mary doesn't like this. Mary is very strict with this. This is how she is. So begin setting boundaries about your life. Begin setting boundaries about your time. Your time is valuable. It could be that, for example, I try to take Shabbat or Saturday off. So most of my friends know that I don't do anything on a Saturday. So I am not going to do lunch with you on Saturdays. And they eventually knows that. But so I'm not going to be pulled here and there. And then if I have a project, I don't go out. So when I tell you I have a project, you know that I am not going out with you this weekend. So begin having consistencies with your boundaries also. You can't one day say, this is my boundary, I don't do this. Like, for example, right now we are in the pandemic. My boundary is when you come to my house, you put a mask on or you don't come in. That's my boundary. My boundary is if we are going to go to a restaurant, we are going to go to a restaurant with a patio because I am not going to dine on the inside. My boundary is I'm not going to go to a place that has more than 10 people, and you know that. My boundary is when you come in my house, you're going to sanitize your hands whether you like it or not. So boundaries going to make people uncomfortable, but you have to be willing to make other people uncomfortable so that you can be comfortable, so that you can be comfortable within yourself.